Hi, I'm John Leonard. I'm a corporate lawyer with Fairfield and Woods in Denver, Colorado. Today, we're talking to Gennaro DeSantis about purchasing commercial real estate. We've just done a couple videos on term sheets, letters of intent, and the general process of buying, for example, general commercial property, then specifically offices, and then multifamily. You do a lot of senior housing, though. That's kind of a niche you've worked into it. How did you get into it, and how does it differ from, we just did apartments? Talk a little bit about how did you develop this niche in senior housing?
Yeah, it's I've been doing it about 20 years, and it kind of just, it's one of those things where, you're doing commercial real estate, and it kind of fell into my lap through one of the clients in the firm was a developer, and they were working with developing some senior housing projects. And they had brought in a wonderful operator who not only was working with them, but was doing his own business, and he needed an attorney.
When you say senior housing, is that assisted living? What is senior housing?
So senior housing can be anything from active adult, which is usually what we call like a 55 plus. So if you're not retired, but you've downsized, kids are all gone, you're going to live, maybe it's an apartment, maybe it's a paired home. It's where you've got activities, you got a community, but you're not provided any services. So that's active adult or 55 plus. So that would be independent living. And in many respects, that's essentially treated like an apartment, but there might be more amenities to it. You might have a bistro or, some stuff that's a little bit beyond the normal apartment building. Then the next level up would be assisted living. And in that situation, you'll receive meals. You'll always receive meals. There's nurses on staff. And there might be physical therapy. You just have way more number of amenities, and you've got around the clock. There's people that work there. So those type of facilities, there are a number of employees there. You may have 25 to 50 employees working at an assisted living building. Then the next level would be memory care, where it's usually there's more staff. And the ratios instead of in assisted living, which may be 14 residents to one staff member at any given time, you'll have double the staff members for memory care. And you get much more services there. Memory care residents need, constant help.
Sure.
There, and then beyond that, you'll get to skilled nursing, which is a level that most of my clients don't really work in the skilled nursing. It's even its own niche.
More like a hospital.
Yeah. You get to a level of, it's basically a hospital.
And so if somebody wanted to come and purchase an existing senior housing project, or they wanted to, there's raw land they wanted to develop, that's really one of your prime things that you do.
It is. I have helped, my clients are management companies, they're developers, they're operators. So we run the full gamut. And part of what makes that a unique niche for me is I'm not only helping them with the real estate, I'm also their outside general counsel. And so I help them with all the day-to-day stuff as well. But I'm very in tune with the unique parts of buying those properties, selling those properties, developing those properties. I've been involved in my career in probably 50 senior housing transactions.
All over the United States?
Yeah, all over the Western United States. My clients have always been in the Western United States, but yeah.
And you mentioned you work for developers and operators. So you might help somebody build a senior housing facility and they would sell to an operator.
Yeah, and typically the unique part of it is that our clients are developers that really know this industry, and there's a lot of nuances to building a senior housing property. I mean, the one that always sticks out in my mind is when my guys build these, the the floor materials are, it's not just, oh, we're gonna put tile here and carpet here. I mean, it's just, the tripping hazards are just like, those are the kind of things that always stick out, but there's so many nuances like that in the development part. So these guys know the development. They will usually team up with somebody that maybe knows the local area, so they know how to help with getting through the city government to get the zoning approvals and entitlements that are required to build that kind of property, because it's not always a normal, it's not the same as multifamily. There's usually unique
Sure.
zoning requirements for group home or assisted living facilities.
Now, you mentioned your outside general counsel to some of these operators. What are the typical kinds of contract, now that they're up and going, you've helped them purchase and build the facility on a day-to-day basis? You're like the lawyer down the hall. You're soup to nuts, whether it's hiring people or I don't know, do you buy food and food service? What does outside general counsel for a senior housing facility do?
It's everything. I mean, we negotiate contracts with the food service providers. We negotiate contracts with the marketing companies that they utilize. We negotiate contracts with the cable companies, because in that situation, cable and TV and internet is all included in your monthly fees that the residents pay. So we're negotiating those contracts for these properties. We're negotiating contracts with consultants. We do the leases with the hair salon that rents the space out of us. We do contracts with the physical therapists that come in 3 times a week and utilize one of our rooms. The nice thing about being at a firm like Fairfield and Woods is that we also will help with employment issues, because we have employment workers here.
Right.
And we also have to deal, unfortunately, with, there's level of care that we're licensed for. And that's one of the unique aspects of senior housing, is it's a licensed community that we will help, we help with making sure that we stay in compliance by, if a resident's not able to stay there because they need more services than we are licensed to provide, we have to help with that process of moving them to the right community.
Sounds like it could get pretty emotional sometimes if people are misbehaving, older people that can't really help themselves. So I'm sure if you're an operator, knowing that there's somebody on the other end of the line they can call, like you, that knows the niche, has the contacts. You must know so many people in this very niche-y industry that you're a problem fixer for these people. And I think that's what I find really interesting about, you help them acquire the property, but especially on senior housing, you're really their right-hand guy, at least on a legal side, to help fix problems.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm helping them with just anything that comes up. And sometimes I'm not the guy to answer that specific question, but we find the person.
Yeah.
We usually have that person here at
Right.
Woods. So.
Well, look, if you're operating senior housing, we know it's a jump ball every day for you. And this is our star center, Gennaro, right here. So give us a call give Gennaro a call. If you're in this area and want somebody that's extremely talented, knows the area, and a great guy to work with. So thanks for joining us today, Gennaro.
Thank you.